Welcome to another episode of Educating Homebuyers, the podcast. I'm your host, Brady Hay, and my mortgage team has over 9 years of mortgage experience here in Des Moines, Iowa. Whether you're buying your first home, upgrading, investing, or simply just curious about the market, this show is all about helping you and future homebuyers feel informed, educated, and comfortable as you take your next step. Each week, I sit down with real estate professionals, past clients, and local experts to unpack real stories, real advice, and what you actually need to know when buying a home today. Without further ado, let's get into today's episode. Today's guest is a real estate agent from Des Moines Metro who's built his business through hard work and genuine connection. He's known for being hands-on with his clients and for bringing his construction background into every deal. He's the type of guy who jumps in whenever there's a chance and frankly makes sure that all of his people feel taken care of from start to finish. He treats his clients like family and takes pride in relationships he's built over the years. He's also a husband, a dad, and somebody who truly cares about the people around him. Des Moines' self-proclaimed best-dressed real estate agent as well, Jalan Jones, welcome to Educating Homebuyers.
Glad to be here.
How are you, buddy?
Oh, I'm doing well. How are
Sorry,
you?
I gave you that title. You actually didn't include that in the introduction. But
I was like, hold on.
You're like, wait, where did that come from? But no, we talked about it. You put a lot of pride into your outfits on a day-to-day basis.
Oh, I put a lot of pride into the fits.
I was excited to see what you went with today. And clearly it was the green look today.
The green, the corduroy.
That's fresh.
With the green docks. I don't know if the camera can see those, but
yeah, I don't know. Pull that thing up there by your face. So like that. Look at that thing.
The furry green docks.
Where do you get an outfit like that?
Banana Republic.
Okay.
Banana Republic with this one, which I normally don't do too much shopping at.
Are you an in-person shopper? So like whenever you buy a new fit?
It depends. So if I've been to the store before, then I can shop online.
You kind of know how it's going to fit.
Otherwise you have to go in person, but I hate shopping, honestly.
Yeah, I feel that way too. And it's interesting over, like the last 5 years or so, I feel like I really went to the virtual only and all online and stuff.
Yep.
But I'll tell you, it's hard to get stuff to fit the right way, especially being someone who's chubby and short and have short legs. Like it's hard to find clothes that fit me right.
It's tough.
But anyway, well, listen, man, excited to have you here. Appreciate everybody for tuning in. Context for you, how I usually like to start these episodes, just to give you an opportunity to share the floor on, how did you get into real estate? Where did your passion come from on that?
Yeah.
And what's this journey looked like for you?
Yeah. So for me, getting into real estate, I had a really good friend at the time that, I don't want to say hounded me, but just every week he's encouraged. You should get your real estate license. He was getting his at the time.
Okay.
And I was like, I just came from sales in the call center nationwide. I was like, I don't think that I want to do that. But at the end of the day, I'm a people person. So in the back of my mind, I was like, I think I would be great at this. Okay. And fast forward, I got my license, was working construction, had a home renovation business for just shy of 6 years. Okay. So
you were in the trenches doing that work?
I was doing that work while I had my license for 3 years. Okay. Didn't do much with it because it was almost impossible
to do both.
Sure. Mix in a young child. Your time's really spread thin.
Yeah.
So last January I made the decision to go full time, which was a really tough decision for me, just pivoting from my bread and butter, what I knew for the last 6 years to now jumping into something completely that I wasn't fully established in.
Got it.
So, yeah, that's kind of how I got started.
What was your exposure to real estate before that buddy of yours put that in your ear? Did you even know what that looked like?
Not what like a day-to-day would look like.
Because this was before you started renovating too, right?
When I got my license, I had been renovating.
Okay, so So you were already working on houses. You
I was
had
already
exposure
working on houses.
to real estate.
Exactly.
It just wasn't selling it.
It wasn't selling it. So it was I had an idea of what a real estate agent looked like. And honestly, before I got into real estate, I thought that real estate agents, to me, kind of had a bad name. I thought of like a slimy car salesman when I thought of a real estate agent.
Has that opinion changed?
Oh, 100%. Now, I will say there's bad people in every business. So whether it's painting, whether it's just whatever space you're in the professional world, there's going to be bad agents, there's bad car salesmen, there's bad whatever. So taking the good with the bad, you just have to make sure you separate yourself and not be that bad agent, because they are out there.
Right. So surround yourself with the people that are not that.
Exactly.
Allow yourself to be one of those as well.
Allow yourself to be one of those, and just stay true to who you are. If you're a good person at the end of the day and you have good intentions, that's gonna
I would argue it's a competitive advantage, right?
For sure.
Like if you had that opinion and you felt that there are others that are doing it that way, coming in and being the opposite of that gives you an opportunity to stand out.
Definitely.
Too. So, okay. So you made this transition from call center to construction renovation. To real estate agent. How long ago was that?
I started in Nationwide when I was, are you saying when I?
Yeah, so when did you get your real estate license?
Oh, okay, in 2021. So in the midst of
we're
COVID.
roughly just over 4 years in.
Yeah. Okay. It'll be 5 years in March.
And you went full-time in 2021?
No, I went full-time 2024. So beginning of January 2024.
A little over a year into that.
I look at myself as being just almost 2 years in.
As a full-time agent?
Yeah.
Fantastic.
And I look at this as my second year. Although I've been almost licensed for 5, I look at this as my second.
Yeah, it's the second year you're giving it your all.
Exactly.
If that makes sense. So, and how's that transition gone?
Man, it has been great. I wake up every day just like my typical day, I'll say. My son just started preschool, so I get to start my days, most days, a little slower, relaxing
with the family,
being present, take him to school, get to drop him off with the whole family. That's something that as a kid, I feel like I missed. Which not everyone has the opportunity to do that. So I'm really grateful. So I'll do that and then I'll work the rest of the day. We'll pick them up at 11:30 and then I'm back to work. And it just depends. Every day is different. So it really just depends what's on your plate. But sorry, what was the question? I forgot.
I mean, just mostly how it's been, right?
Oh, like, how it's been. Sorry.
You're good.
No, it's been great. I would say I don't feel like, that's where I was going with that. I don't feel like I wake up every day and I'm dreading going to work. I wake up every day and I love what I do. It doesn't feel like work, which is cliche because you hear people all the time saying
I would imagine you can probably agree with this, but I'll tell you that in past work, in past life, I felt that. There were a lot of drives to my previous job where it's like, man, I just do not want to do this.
Man.
And I can agree with you that like most days, we all have our days.
We all have our days for sure. You're human.
But most days I will tell you that like I wake up grateful with a full heart that I'm excited that I get to help people.
Exactly.
And it's been kind of fun to see that evolve. And there's still challenges that we face, right?
There's a ton of every day, but David Rodriguez, you know David. He said it best. I went and listened to him talk. Stuff's going to come up no matter what. You either have a negative mindset to it or you have a positive mindset to it. You either sulk about it or you say, how are we going to move past this? And I think I've always had that mindset of how am I going to figure this out? That's just how I've grown up. And I kind of had to be that way.
Well, I'll tell you from
second nature.
From a mortgage standpoint, that's arguably one of my favorite parts of my job. Obviously it can be like stressful in the moment. But I'll tell you like figuring out solutions on like how to get something done is one of my favorite parts of what I do. You know, I always say with the mortgage side of things, especially the way that I've chosen to take my career, I wear a lot of hats, right? So I have a marketing hat, which is this podcast, right? And social media and everything that goes with that. I have a sales hat where at the end of the day, I have to sit down with referral partners and convince them to refer me business, right? I have a consultant hat, which is me consulting my clients on the best way to structure their home purchase, decide how they should structure their pre-approval, you know, that kind of aspect. And then there's the problem solving aspect where it's like, hey, we've got this transaction. Here's the hurdle we're faced with. How can we overcome it? You know, and one of the avenues that I've chosen to take is frankly, try to find a solution prior to presenting the problem. Like, so if you that's
a great point.
If you identify that problem rather than raising any red flags early, if you can find a solution prior to that and then bring it up, like that's been a huge value add for me, without hiding the fact that there's an issue too.
Right.
I will tell you that like that's something I've learned over the years is if there's ever going to be a problem on a file, two things really, then I want to make a point on this, but number one is bring it to everybody's attention as soon as you can.
You have to.
Because you want to get as many people involved, you know, without panicking anybody, to make sure that we're all working towards the same solution. But the second thing I'll tell you from a mortgage standpoint, I always will make sure that any of those potential problems are identified up front prior to even writing an offer on a property. So that we can avoid any of those issues later. Now, I will tell you, there's always things that come up.
Always.
So prime example that I think is worth sharing, had a situation where a closing was actually supposed to be last Friday, and I won't get into specific client details, but I'll tell you, we were clear to close on our end. Like ducks were in a row. Everything was good. We were clear to close, and I get a call from the client on Wednesday. And with this specific client, we were utilizing a gift for his down payment. Okay. Long story short, but mom was gifting the funds, and the funds that mom had planned on having weren't there yet. There was an estate disbursement. She was going to receive some money from a family situation, and it just sounds like there was a delay on that side. And we actually ended up having to cancel the deal. And that's just
because we closing back, just canceled the deal altogether.
Correct. So the seller had a backup offer, you know, and we were clear to close, and it sounded like it could be another 4 to 6 weeks until that money was there for mom. Okay. And the seller just wasn't willing to wait because the backup offer was able to close in 30 days. Right. And we just didn't, with the unknown of when our money was going to get there. So it was a bummer for my client, most importantly. But my point is like, that was one of those one-offs where a deal fell through that there was frankly nothing I could have done to prevent that. Nothing. You know, other than, you know, the only thing that as I reflect on that I look back on, it's like, okay, well, maybe if I would have, you know, set the expectation that we should wait to close on the property until mom already has that money kind of a thing, you know?
But that's a lesson learned. At the
end
of the
for
day.
Sure. And I'll definitely take that value and learn from that. My point by bringing that up, I think, is the important point is that there are always going to be things and situations that we can't predict. Right. But the value add there too is like if you're utilizing funds to buy a house, if there's anybody watching this that is looking at that, make sure you've kind of got those ducks in a row and that money's received and it's readily available prior to scheduling a closing, right? Because that is, I mean, it's a very time sensitive deal.
Very time sensitive.
Listen, from my standpoint, it's not like it changed my life by any means. That like if we were to move that closing, I care more about the people that were buying it. But there's realtors involved, there's title companies, there's insurance companies, there's the client, there's the seller, there's just a lot of moving parts.
There is,
and I think it's important to like prioritize and get our ducks in a row and figure all that stuff out early, if we can. So
that is a great point, and I think that's what I like to set expectations, just like yourself. And that was just something that I learned very early on from talking to other realtors that had done it at a high level. Is just make sure you have these things in order. You touch on this point. So that way you don't look bad when the time comes. And everything's a learning process. There's a learning curve to it. So,
well, I'll tell you, it's hard as a young professional in this industry, or not even necessarily young, but new professional in this industry, to kind of put your foot down and control that process a little bit. I vaguely remember in my early years of my career, at least locally, I would struggle to like be the authority almost, if that makes sense. Like I didn't want to upset a client that I didn't know or miss out on an opportunity for a lead or disappoint an agent referral partner or anything like that. And I think maybe it just comes with the confidence of doing it longer. But I've kind of learned now that like, all right, I've kind of figured out how this process should go. And in order for it to go well, we need to do X, Y, and Z. Yep. And I've learned to not be afraid to put my foot down in that instance and say, hey, no, like, we're not just going to, get a lead and do an application and write an offer the next second. Like we need to take our time. We need to get those documents up front. We need to do a little bit more of an in-depth pre-approval up front so that the process is smoother for everybody on the back end.
And so I think a lot of people, I mean, they may not appreciate that up front, but then later on, or if they had another experience, you and I were talking a little bit about an experience I've had with a recent client regarding, so it was a seller. The offer that we accepted, we had multiple offers. The offer that we accepted was a VA loan. Now, as long as you take the proper steps and everyone understands what goes into a VA loan and the issues that come up, it's usually fine. However, when you have someone who's not local or doesn't have that face-to-face interaction, it gets a little bit tricky. And this is the first time I've dealt with it. I had a lender who didn't pick up the phone, didn't respond to emails. Closing ended up getting pushed back a week due to a lender not confirming documents or not getting, I think the lender was asking for W-2s on Monday and we closed on that Thursday. And
that's crazy.
I got that.
That's crazy.
I got the call from the the buyer's agent.
Meanwhile, I won't even send a pre-approval letter without a W-2.
I'm like, what do you mean?
Yeah.
She's like, well, we haven't even gotten the preliminary. I'm like, well, don't you have to have, correct me if I'm wrong, you have to have it 3 days in advance prior to any closing. You have to see some form of numbers. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, legally, you can't close.
Correct.
And so it's Monday. I'm getting this call. I'm like, there's no way we're closing.
Yeah.
And just that whole process was, I don't want to say a nightmare because we got it figured out. Yeah. And again, you have to look at it from a positive standpoint and just put your best foot forward.
Think about what you learned.
This out? Exactly. It was a huge learning.
So what are the lessons there?
Opportunity.
For a client or for a new realtor listening to this, what's the lessons you learned amidst that experience?
Man, I knew this already, but I can't reiterate it enough. Interview multiple lenders. Like if you're not comfortable with who you're going with from a lender standpoint, let's say it's someone new that's coming to you, for example. I'm not saying this would happen, but let's say they're like, I just don't know about Brady. I want to talk to someone else. Go talk to someone else, because 9 times out of 10, if you go talk to someone else, they're going to realize, man, Brady actually knew what he was doing. I feel even more comfortable with my decision and going with him. So when people come to me, like people that I don't know, and they'll ask me what separates me or why should I go with you, I'll tell them why. I'm not big on being pushy or trying to sell people too much. But I'll tell them, hey, go speak to another agent so you can see their process, see the feeling that you get with them. And then if it works out with us, it works out. If it doesn't, it doesn't. It's not going to be the end of the world for me. And at the end of the day, you're getting what you want,
right? Which
is working with someone who you feel comfortable or
like you said, you don't want to sell them on you if they're not comfortable with that, exactly. Right? Like you would rather both sides be willing to work well together.
Exactly.
And you don't want to like force the issue just to earn the business, right? So when looking at from a client education standpoint, when you have a client go look for a lender, what are some things you have them ask, or what's some questions, or like what should they look for when identifying what lender to work with?
I would say the biggest thing it comes down to for me is, so when I'm shopping for something and I'm seeking help, it's because I don't know what I'm doing 9 times out of 10. So I literally recommend them to ask the lender, hey, tell me about your process. Tell me about what this, if it's 30 days of closing, what this 30 days is going to look like. What am I to expect? All of these things. Or if there's different loan programs, explain these loan programs to me. What do these mean? Do I qualify for them? If people are giving you that information up front and they're being thorough, and you get the feeling that, hey, they're not just trying to sell me on something. They're not going to put me in a bad way with whatever loan I'm getting.
Yeah.
If you get that feeling from them and you trust the information they're giving you, then go with them. And the people that I have 3 people that I'll refer for different situations or who I think would be a great fit. So like the people that I'm referring already, they're going to be great either way.
Yep. That's exactly the answer I was looking for.
Yeah.
And I've talked about it on other episodes, but it's not as simple as just what's your rate.
No.
There's more that goes into it. There's more details that you need to deserve and understand. And one of the examples you mentioned was this VA client that was buying your listing.
Yeah.
You know, they were working with a national VA recommended or well-known, we won't name any names.
Look, I don't want to put their business out there, but that was
large
that was
national
awful.
lender. We'll just say this,
awful.
That's known in the VA space for offering loans for our veterans, which I have a soft spot in my heart for veterans. It's ironic timing that we're talking about this. Actually, one of my best friends got deployed this morning, so try not to get emotional or anything.
Yeah.
But it's been a tough morning. But anyway, so this veteran client was utilizing this large national company, and you ran into 2 things. One is the lack of communication, right? But the other thing that I'll mention is a lot of those national VA lenders for our veterans don't have access to a lot of the local grant programs that we have access to.
Right.
You know, like we can get a ton of money for down payment assistance for our local veterans that a lot of these online places and these national places don't have access to. So if you're a veteran watching this or listening, just another incentive to work with some of those local lenders like myself that, we can get you some money that you probably won't have access to otherwise. So
definitely
lots of different unique programs, and without working with the right person to educate on those, it's hard to get access to that. So appreciate your response on that.
Yeah. I think when I first started and you're meeting with these lenders, you think, man, everyone offers the same stuff. But to touch on what you said, it really is important to work with someone, in my opinion, just to work with someone local, someone that you can go to their office and say, hey, what's going on? Can you explain this to me? If you have that option and you feel good about who you're working with, I
always joke because I'm an iPhone fan, but if you don't get if you send them a text and you don't get a blue response, then it's like you shouldn't work with that lender, right? Because they're like, even if they have an Android, like I don't know. I just kind of joke because I think that like that's a sign that you should be able to send a text to your lender and get a response. I would say the same thing with an agent. And not to dog on any Android users because I know there's a lot of them out there.
Dog on the Android users, man.
But it's 2025. Those call centers, though, and we talked about this. I can say this because I worked at one for 2 years early in my career. But if you leave the call center, you don't have access to your work as a lender. And so, if the agent needs a pre-approval letter late or your client has a question and they're out of the office, sorry, it's going to be tomorrow morning until you hear back. And I had a situation, I don't remember if I've talked about this on the podcast or not, but I remember when I worked at Wells Fargo in the call center, I had a situation where I had a closing that was supposed to be on a Friday. And long story short, but I had a family funeral on that Friday, so I was not able to be in the office. And I don't remember the logistics of why this happened, but long story short, the deal didn't end up closing that Friday. Like I don't know if we dropped the ball or what the situation was off the top of my head. This was almost 10 years ago, but long story short, these people did not get to close on their house on that Friday. And they had sold their other house. They were literally homeless over the weekend.
Oh, okay.
Which, as a lender and realtor, frankly, is
horrible feeling. Yeah.
Not only it is the worst feeling. Yeah. Like missing a closing is something that's frankly non-negotiable for me.
Yep.
But I'll tell you, as like somebody that worked in a call center at this time when this was happening, and I was at a family funeral, I had no knowledge that any of this was going on.
Oh, so this was
I was out of the office.
This is when you were in the call center.
When I was at Wells Fargo in the call center, right? And my job at the call center was just to answer the phone, basically. Yeah. Like I wasn't a true lender like what I am now. And I'll tell you that like this deal got delayed while I was out of the office. So I have no access to emails, no access to phone. I come back Monday morning after my client had slept in a hotel over the weekend, blown up, right? 10 voicemails, 250 emails, like just blown up, and I'm the enemy.
Yeah.
When in reality, like I wasn't able to be there to help because I had a family funeral, which like as a human, like now you look at it, if they would have known me, like they would have understood.
Yeah.
But also on the flip side, if I had access to my stuff, I would have tried to solve that problem.
Definitely.
But I didn't even know what happened, right? Is my point. So I would just always encourage people to like give those call centers a little bit of grace. However, if you're a client and you're choosing to work with a call center, I would encourage you to call a local lender too.
Definitely. So, couldn't agree more.
I don't know. What else? Life good?
Life's great. Kids are
active.
Man, life goes by fast.
Crazy fast, isn't it?
As you always hear, everyone always tells, especially the old people, you're walking. I'll be on a walk with my kids and they're like, you enjoyed those years. I'm like, oh, I am. I'm enjoying them. Mm-hmm. And even when you enjoy them, it still seems like you look back and you're like, dang, I feel like I didn't enjoy that enough.
I don't have kids myself, but my nephew is turning 9.
Yeah.
9 or 10.
I don't even have to necessarily be kid, just anything in life. Enjoy the moment that you're at in life because it's going to come and go.
Recently, amidst this Charlie Kirk thing, the clip that stuck with me that he mentioned was it really stood out to me. He said, "This too shall pass." Yeah. And the way he put it into perspective is you always think of when you hear that, "This too shall pass," you think of that saying in a negative tone, right? Like if you're going through a battle, whatever it is, this too shall pass, right? Yeah. You'll get over it. You'll move on. Like, things will get better. But what he mentioned in his little clip that went viral was the opposite. So like if you're ever in a high moment where like life's good, like you're killing it, like maybe you have a great month or whatever it is, you have to remember to stay rooted and grounded because this too will pass. Yeah. And it won't always be the best situation in your world, right?
Yeah.
And that just like, from my perspective, I'd always heard that quote, but had never thought of it in that light. And that was like really eye-opening. It's like you can't ever like just like want to stay in a position forever, because you know that, you know, ups and downs are going to happen. Life's going to continue to move, and you just have to be able to enjoy whatever it is, because this too shall pass. It's going to be gone someday.
Yeah.
So I don't
sad.
know.
Wow. Ended on a sad note.
No,
Oh,
I don't mean to
goodness.
do that. And I don't mean to like bring up obviously a touchy subject by any means. Or
No, just the fact that everything, you know, life comes to an end one day.
Yeah, for sure. But you have to enjoy it and make the best of it. And I'm just thankful for the people that I get to interact with, the conversations that I get to have. I'm thankful for you to come in and just chat and be a resource. And yeah, just love what we do, and love, getting to live it out every day.
I couldn't be more thankful for clients, the people that trust me, the great people I get to work with. You hear people say, "Oh, I work with the best people." I really do work with some of the best people, whether it be another agent that I'm asking questions of or a lender that's great at what they do. You get to work with a lot of great people. You get to meet a lot of interesting clients and friendships. Like I've had pretty much every single client that I've had has turned into a friend in some way. Like we still keep in contact. A lot of clients came to my 30th birthday party. Like it's truly a great thing. I saw you that night, didn't I? Yeah, you did.
How funny is that? Didn't even get the invite, but I did run into him.
You'll get the invite next year. You'll get the invite
31,
next year.
we'll celebrate.
31, we'll celebrate.
I love it, dude. No, this is awesome. Appreciate you being an insight into just our market and being a valuable resource. Appreciate you coming in. If anybody's interested and feels connected with Jalan and you're watching this, I'll link all of his stuff in the description below. Follow him on Instagram. I don't know what else you got, I guess.
Instagram, Facebook.
You got
text
it all?
me.
Yeah, send him a text. That's always the best,
You go on Instagram,
right?
see my ridiculous fits every day.
Honestly, though, that's such a vibe. Like,
it is fun.
What a cool way to like.
But like even that, like I get to wake up and do something like that.
Yeah, when you understand the power of social media
100%.
and like being in front of people, but it's not like you're sitting there posting every single day like, hey, here's how you go buy a house, right? Or a tour of a house. Like,
because no one wants to.
You found this unique perspective, even though it might say realtor at the end of your bio.
Yep.
You're known as the guy who dresses well, which is a very cool.
Yeah, dresses well and with long. Everyone remembers you from my hair.
Hey, got to remember you for something. People
Someone
just remember
tried to get me to cut
remember
the hair.
my gray hair. It's
There you
funny. We had a old headshot of me pop up on my memories, and my coworkers and I were joking how brown my hair was back then, and now it's very gray. And these lights don't do me. The lights don't do me any favors either. But
if you can rock the gray hair, you got to rock it.
Here's the battle that I've chosen that I'm not going to fight: is I'm not going to dye my hair at 31. Like I'm not going to start dyeing my hair for the next 30 years.
You start dyeing your hair, then all bets are off.
It's got to go. So
same with losing your hair. You know, if
just got to buzz
it. If it's back here, it's time to let it go. Let it go.
There's your lesson for the day, everybody.
One day, Father Time will get the best of all of us.
Exactly. So listen, dude, this has been fun. Everybody, thanks for watching. This has been another episode of Educating Homebuyers, and we'll see you guys next time.